show me everything.
Hello, Dazzlings, Dazzlettes, and newcomers. My name is Aria, and welcome back to another story time. Now, this story time, I actually had a poll for which one I should do first. I had two story times in mind. I'm doing both, but this first one, it's called My Terrible Trip to Paris. So, I know a lot of people dream of going to Paris, thinking, oh, it's gonna be so beautiful, and just to take in all the cuisine and seeing the Eiffel Tower, taking in French culture. Yeah, I was kind of the same. The thing is, my uncle, he's a big motivational speaker, and we decided to go with him to one of his tours in Europe. So we were originally staying in the UK, which was amazing for me and my dad. We love everything British. So that's a whole different story time. So we all went to Paris. My group, it was my parents, my older brother, my aunt, and my cousin, and my other aunt and uncle who work for my uncle who's the motivational speaker, and their son who was a baby at that time. So we're there, and the first thing that's sort of like a red flag is we get to Paris and it's downpour. It is overcast. It's just raining hard on us. And not a lot of people in our group, no, correction, there are only two people in our group who know a little bit of French. That'd be me and my mom. And even though we know a little bit of French, the way they were speaking, there was no way we'd be able to understand what they were saying. So we had to run the cost of people trying to scam us. And that actually did happen. Once we got off the train from the UK to France, well, Paris, Paris is in France, you dummy. Once we got off the train, we headed to the train station, which by far is huge and bustling with people. And my mom is trying to communicate with these people, asking where the taxis are. And we almost get scammed by this one lady who's just like, oh, come out to the front. And we're, at first, sitting there waiting. We almost got scammed by her. We're sitting out in the rain waiting, and then this black guy comes out going like, no, no, no! I have a feeling he cussed her out in French because he was hamming on her and then said, don't trust her, she is a scam artist, and if you want taxis, you need to go to the other side of the building. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. So, yeah, the first red flag is that we almost got scammed while in Paris. The second one is we wanted to go see the Eiffel Tower and possibly eat in the Eiffel Tower because you're allowed to do that. But my mom didn't know that you have to make a reservation for that months in advance. So instead of actually going there to eat, we were just there to take pictures in the cold rain with people looking at us like tourists. So yeah, that was the second red flag. And the third one, for me, possibly would have to be, in Paris, you have to pay to use the bathrooms. Like public restrooms, you have to pay. And that, I did not like. Because I don't even remember how old I was at the time, but I was young enough where accidents are still a huge possibility. So I'm over here trying not to pee myself while trying to get into this bathroom. Number one, the line, no matter where you go, the line for the women's bathroom is always the longest. So I'm in the back of this really long line, and then I'm greeted to the fact that I have to pay to get inside. And so I have to get money from my mom, and then we have to head in super quickly. And I don't know if the paying is just a toll or anything, or so that way they can pay for cleaning supplies. I don't know, and I don't care. All I know is that if it was for cleaning supplies, they did not use it for cleaning supplies. Because I walked in, it smelled absolutely disgusting in there. Worse than any other bathroom I've ever been in the United States. It was disgusting. And the toilets themselves, they looked clean. They didn't smell clean. So, yeah, I was in there trying not to gag while using the bathroom. and then I had to rush out quickly. And this other part happened. This last red flag happened. Well, no, second to last red flag happened, and we all freaked out. But I was sort of like, I didn't really see it all happen, but I heard it happen. And so, my cousin, she was like in high school, or maybe like getting ready to graduate high school when this happened. But we're all walking, trying to find a way back to our train, because by this point, we were all tired, we were exhausted, we had all our sightseeing. Oh yeah, and we also went to see the Louis Vuitton store. Either way, we were tired, we saw all we wanted, and we were trying to get back to our train. And we were trying to find the gate, and my cousin was behind us. So this man, who is grown, just walks up to her, is trying to talk to her, saying, "Come with me," and actually grabs her and tries to kidnap her while we're in the train station. And all this happened. She would have been taken away if she didn't cry out. Then that man had my dad, my uncle, her father on him, like approaching her, and then my dad had all the women just stay like in the middle. My dad and all the other men that were with us, like they made this circle shield with all the women inside and the men on the outside, and we were like that until we went back upstairs to go drink some hot chocolate because it was starting to get cold and it was starting to become night. The thing is, seeing how no one spoke English or spoke little English, and no one was really wanting to help us because it's like, bleh, tourists, who wants to help tourists? We almost had to spend the night in Paris, and that was one thing I did not want to do. Like, the people here don't like us, we're low on funds, people are trying to scam us left and right, how are we gonna know where to go? And then we didn't even have to talk about like getting money and getting another ticket for another train the next morning if we had to stay the night in Paris. Luckily, it didn't come to that. Luckily, we had someone who actually spoke English and wanted to help us get to our train. The person who was working customs was very, very rude, and my dad was even like, "Excuse me, we're trying to get back to the UK. We need to get back right now. Our train is leaving in like 10 minutes. We need to go." And so we quickly rushed through customs, and then we were able to make it onto the train literally just before it left. Like, as soon as we all sat down, the train left the station, and we just all slumped down and sighed. Also, a little tidbit here, we had nothing to eat that entire day. So we were all starving in Paris, not being able to know where to go to get some food. And then we finally get on the train and they actually give us real warm food. And let's just say, that trip is the one reason I do not want to ever go back to Paris. So yeah, that's my terrible trip to Paris story. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like what you listen to, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to become a Dazzling or a Dazzler today. If this is the first video you've ever seen by me, you're no longer a newcomer. Welcome to the family. And as always, guys, I'm Aria. Thank you so much for listening to the story time, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!
I show you everything.